Take some distance. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 71 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and new to you. I'm your host, Chip, and today's episode is going to be relatively short because it's currently 11, and I will have to post this in the next 30 minutes or so to count as in posted within this day. This made me realize two things. First of all, I think I will go back to the original schedule. Well, I will prepare the episode the day before for the day after. To be published the day after. Just because this, let's say, reduces my stress of doing the episode. And even though I can make the argument that making it within the day strengthens, let's say, the value of the episode. But it's just a perception because in the solution that I told you 5 seconds ago, I will still have to do the episodes in the day. It's just that I'm doing it for the day after, therefore giving me a bit more flexibility around the things that I have to do. The reason why I was this late, fortunately, it wasn't necessarily something that I decided, in the sense that I was visiting a friend and we started making conversations about AI, ethics, AI hacking, and the discussion was going all over the place. And I would have felt bad, honestly, to just leave. So I waited for the last, available moment to be able to come back and do the episode. Still, like it happened 3 or 4 episodes ago, I still wanted to do it today because I think there is value in doing that. But at the same time, this was just a bit to share the insights of today's episode. Coming back to the topic of today, though, which, it's a bit, again, more personal. It's, as I said at the beginning, take some distance. From what? I think that what happens a bit way too often, and again, as always, I'm the first victim. When we start analyzing the things that we do, when we start trying to understand the things that are not right or that we can improve or that we are working on within a certain moment, the more we stay in it and the more, we get into the intricacies of it, the more we start going into the details. And that is normal. When you start learning something, you are very broad, everything is interesting and everything is new, and you have a very wide view of the thing. Then you start getting a bit more interest and you focus on a specific path of it. And then you start going down and down and down and, improving your knowledge or expertise. But at the same time, the things that you focus on are ever so, small. Because, the more you know, the only way to, truly understand something is to go into detail. Therefore, you have to, as maybe you can use the vision of a magnifying lens, you have to really get close to see the important bits that you want to have. And that is fantastic, and that it's, something natural that should happen. But the moment that you're hit with frustration, or the moment that you encounter a problem or you get stuck on what you're doing, I think it always helps to take a step back and realize what you're doing. This, example was brought to myself the other day when I was at the gym. And I think it's, if you've ever, been or, started that kind of journey, I think you'll understand perfectly what I mean. At the start, you see your gains. You see them in a very, big manner because the differences are very big. So they are easily seeable. You can easily see them from afar. Okay, even from a distance, you can see the difference. You're very happy. You're very motivated, and you go on. The more you do it, though, and if you keep the same distance, you will always see the same person. So you start focusing on a specific muscle group, or you start specifically looking at a certain exercise. And even though that, increases, as I was saying before, your knowledge and your expertise in that specific exercise or whatever you're trying to do, you're also losing a bit the vision that you have. And the moment that you then look back and you go back to that distance that you left, you left caring about, 2-3 months, you look back and you're like, okay, I was remembering something different. And that is the beauty of it, because it fuels you again with that kind of motivation that you thought you lost, because you were so focused on the single minimal detail that you lost track of the complete picture. And that is something that, again, it's very sad, and it's just not fair, because it's let's say it's an automatic process that we fall into, but it shouldn't be the case. So anytime that you feel frustrated or you think like nothing is working, take a step back. Try to understand where you started. Try to compare yourself to, let's say, a view from the past, and you will realize that the work that you've been doing has paid off. It's just that in order to see that progress, you just needed to make a step back. This was episode 71 of the Shower Podcast. Thank you very much for listening. As always, feel free to leave any feedback in the comments, leave a like, leave a review on Spotify, anything helps. Thank you very much for listening again, and see you at the next one.